Welcome to another episode of Thanalysis show. I know you guys missed me, but no, I'm joking. I'm joking. You know we got to start with the fourth quarters, but we can't start with the fourth quarters without thanking our sponsor, Carbliss. You guys have been amazing. Thank you guys so much. And let's get to it.
Start off right away.
Yeah.
You've probably seen in your locker rooms, people get fan mail, things like that. Things come through. Have you ever had a fan send you a custom T-shirt? They took time out of their day to make a T-shirt just for you.
No, I've had cards to sign. I've had letters. I've kind of weird stuff to be honest with you, but never a T-shirt. Why?
Well, because you do now. So we got this in the mail here the other day. Subscribe to Thanalysis, a shirt sent from our guy just for you. Look at that picture on there.
Yo, subscribe to Thanalysis. That's how we start our show.
That's
subscribe,
the message right there.
Comment. Thank you. What's it? Did he say the name? Something?
His name's Tony. Tony W. Yeah. It wasn't
Another
me.
Tony.
I promise. I didn't make the shirt.
Another Tony. Thank you, Tony, man. You're amazing, man. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for subscribing, supporting the show. I started doing something I love, and now it's all over the place. I love it. I love it.
It's taking off.
Hold on, keep this shirt.
There you go. Yeah. The next four quarters question I have for you, presented by Carbliss. Both of these are equally terrible, but I want to get your opinion. So Mike Tyson, Jake Paul got a fight coming up. Mm-hmm. And in season 1 of Thanalysis, you had Kamaru Usman, the fighter, on your show. So you have to do one of these. You have to take a punch from prime Mike Tyson or a kick from Kamaru Usman. Which one you selected?
They're both terrible.
Terrible. That's why I'm having you do it and not me.
Yeah. No, I can't. How do you pick? What is Mike gonna punch me? In my stomach or my face?
Let's go like
anywhere.
Let's go like shoulder, just like
if
a good
he punched me in the shoulder, I mean the worst thing that can happen is dislocating my shoulder.
Oh, it's dislocating for sure.
Yeah, I'm straight, but like, where's Kamaru's gonna kick me?
Same spot
in the shoulder.
Yeah,
I'd rather get punched in the shoulder than get kicked because I think like kick is probably gonna.
It hurts.
Yeah, it depends how he kicks me. If I'm down and he kicks me, that's gonna hurt. If I'm high up, he has to get to me. But like, man, I've seen Kamaru kick, and he's got it so much better with his punches and striking and stuff. I can't do that.
Well, because the Jake Paul Tyson fight's coming up, I was on YouTube looking at old Tyson footage.
Oh no.
I do not want to get punched by that.
That is one of those things you don't want to do before the fight. You don't want to go watch highlights. You don't want to do that.
Moving on in the four quarters, presented by Carbliss. Alex Sarr, the NBA draft combine happened pretty recently.
Yes.
7'1", coming out of France like Wemby. Yeah. You had really good perspective. If you haven't seen this, you did a film breakdown. Yeah. Wemby versus Giannis from last season. I want to get your thoughts on Alex Sarr. Have you seen him play? Yes. And just because the international basketball is obviously taken over.
I haven't seen him live play, but I've seen like his footage. I've seen when he was in France. We was actually watching Victor at the time, watching him play with my brother. But what's so crazy? It's not just Sarr. It's other guys that come from France. And France in the next couple of years, you got to watch out for France, bro. They're gonna be all look like Victor and Alex and Sarr and this kid.
The 7'1" and 7'4"?
Yeah, 7'1", 7'4" is smooth and be able to play, but it's special, bro. Like these kids are incredible, and it's gonna be nice to see him in the league. I love it. I love it.
This isn't a four quarters, but in 10 years, the shortest guy in the NBA is gonna be 6'8", 6'7"?
Yeah, they're probably gonna look at us and be like, what? 6'7", played the 3, 4. What?
Jalen Brunson, he's having his time now at 6'1", whatever he is.
Yeah, they're probably going to be
real soon.
Yeah, the same way we look at some other guys from old school, and the same way they looked at the other guys is what it is.
Last question here in the four quarters. So I'm watching some basketball the other week, and you pop up in a legal Zoom commercial with your brother.
Yeah.
So I saw that. We obviously do this in beautiful camera setup every week. Yeah. Movies, the soap operas like Stephen A. What's next for you, man?
No, soap operas. I don't know about soap operas.
Could you act? You think you could? I bet you could do it.
If they let me act with an accent, I would. But I don't. I mean, I do good in commercials. That's
For sure.
because I've done so many. Like you probably haven't seen them a lot, but like I've done a lot.
I got your Instagram page. I've seen some commercials
in Greece and a lot of like in the past as well with my brothers. I mean, I have a nice smile, so I really do good in commercials and stuff like that.
And you're humble, obviously, about your nice smile.
Yeah. No, but I know I'm being real. That's why they pick me in commercials. But the other thing is, I've never done something with. I mean, I've done some with lines, stuff like that. But I usually record them after. Okay. So I'll do the commercial, and then if it's a script, I'll record them. So, but I don't know about Hollywood. Nah.
If you had to be in a type of movie, comedy, action, little rom-com, what kind of movie could you be in?
I want to say action. It has to be something with comedy action.
Okay. Like
a little bit of seriousness, but a little bit of like.
It's like you. Like, the Kevin Hart and The Rock combo. We just got to add you to that. Like, it's perfect. Comedy, action.
Yeah, I could be like
perfect.
Just a cameo or something. Just walk in and be like, "No, we don't do this here, brother." Like say something like that.
You already got the lines down.
Yeah,
who do we got to talk to make this happen?
I don't know. It's a lot of. Who do we have to talk to make this happen?
We get the big voice guy in the movie trailer doing like the end starring.
End starring. I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
In 10 years, a couple more championships later, we're making it happen.
I hope. A couple more championships later.
That's all I got to say in the 4 quarters.
See you guys, get ready for our next interview. Ciao. Man, welcome to another episode of Thanalysis podcast. You guys have been amazing. You guys want to watch the show, you can watch our YouTube Thanalysis show. If you want to follow on the socials, Thanalysis show on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, etc. You guys have been incredible, and I'm getting you guys feedback. I'm trying to get the guests you guys want, on the show, and you guys actually are so into it. Like even the details, some of the stuff you guys talk about, it would be maybe like 30 minutes in, and you guys would notice something. It's amazing. It's perfect. And not only that, but like I'm so not grateful, but when I started this, I was like, okay, how can I get better every time I do a podcast? How can I be the best version of myself? And because I'm a rookie at this, at the podcasting, the media space, etc. But you guys are making me feel like I've been doing this for a minute, so I'm happy about that. But okay, enough about me. Let's start. But before I start, please like, comment, share with your friends, hit the notification button, subscribe to the socials, and let's keep it going. And you know how I'm gonna do the intro, right? Today we have a special guest who has a burner. So from Brown Deer High School and Marquette University, wearing number 20. Steve Novak.
Hey, that's a pretty good intro. I liked it. I like that we started Brown Deer. It's almost like kind of how I did my Twitter handle, or my bio. First it was like, Brown Deer, and then it was Marquette, and then I got a long list of teams, but that was pretty good. If I could just video you and make that my bio on Twitter, I think I might do that.
Yeah, you can use that. The other thing, okay, so before I start with the questions and everything, I wanted to say a nickname, but then I found one that's called Novak. And then I said to myself, I'm going to ask him about that. Where did you have this nickname? Is it true that Walt Frazier gave that nickname? Or?
Yeah. So growing up, I had a real nickname.
What was the name?
It was my pops gave it to me. So I was always in the gym with them. He coached at Brown Deer High School. I was always in the gym shooting or whatever. And he nicknamed me Bomber.
Bomber.
So when I was like a little guy and I was in the gym as a ball boy, all the players would be like, Bomber. Nobody even knew my name was Steve. I promise. None of his football players, none of his basketball players, they all were like, Bomber. So then I feel like my first memory of realizing that I was on the football field, one of his football players came up to me and said, he had like $2 in his hand. He said, hey, Bomber, tell me what your real name is. And I was like, they don't know my real name. My name is Bomber. But then fast forward to the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
And I guess Walt Clyde, he didn't like Bomber. So he said, he called me Novocaine. He started saying, Walt Clyde, he's got the suits and all the adjectives. Yeah. And he just, all of a sudden, he called me Novocaine. He would say he's got ice in his veins and he's making shots. It seemed like whatever Walt Clyde said, it was like,
he's a cool dude.
That's who you are. I said, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
But hold up, isn't Novocaine No, is it the same name with the drug?
Yes, it's the numbing drug.
So like whenever you make it, then like the whole car is numb. Like, all right. I love this. Okay, so back to the questions.
Yeah.
How many threes do you think you would average as a shooter playing today's NBA?
You know how I mean this. You know how there's so many old heads that are like, if I played today, I would make more money and I would this and I that. All right, I'm a little bit like those guys. I've been out for like 6-7 years, but they can keep the money. I just want the volume. I just want to be able to shoot the threes, because I swear when I saw Blake Griffin shooting like 7 a game a few years ago, I said, Blake Griffin?
Was that with Detroit? Was that the stint he had with Detroit? That was maybe
when he was with, maybe Detroit. Yeah. And he was shooting, I would see him spot up, and I played with Blake early in his career, and I know he can't make threes. And then you see Joel Embiid banging down threes, and I'm like, he's like 7'8". Yeah. They're letting everybody shoot. And I just remember being told my whole career, like, you're good at it, but but don't settle. You know, let's work on the shot fake.
You're not just good at it, you're one of the best at it, though.
But my agent, Mark Bartelstein, he was pushing all the GMs, you know, hey, we got to let him shoot more. It's good for you, whatever. I got drafted by Daryl Morey, who was, you know, analytics, the guy. So it was like, I think I was right at the cusp of it turning the corner before Golden State and Steph Curry, before they showed, hey, you can actually win shooting threes. And then the analytics showed it, but I just want the volume. I think I would get up about 12 a game now. I think at my peak, I averaged about 5 attempts per game.
You average only 5 attempts?
That's all they would let me shoot. Hey, they would say, don't settle. We got to get good shots, hit the big fella, you know, cut off the big, get on the weak side, get a little split action. And then if the big throws it back out to you, then go ahead, you can shoot it. Now they say, hey, if you can't shoot, you can't play.
So wait, you average 5 with the Knicks.
Yeah.
That was the most you averaged. Did you have more shooters with the Knicks?
Yeah,
I mean, Melo, obviously. And
Melo was shooting it. J.R. Smith.
Was
letting it go. And depending on the year, it was like Jay Lynn.
Lynn
Sanity. Was letting that thing fly a little bit. You know, we had guys like Bibby and Jay Kidd. So we had some guys that were getting them up. We were the original high-volume three-point team. It was like right before Golden State started winning, so we consider ourselves trailblazers.
Sure. I like this. So wait, okay. What do you like more, Milwaukee or New York?
Hey, what kind of question is that? I mean,
no.
I'm from here, right?
Yeah.
This is home. Like, this is my team. I always say, like, this is my team. Whether I played for them or if I worked for them or if whatever. The Bucks are I watched Michael Redd. I watched Ray Allen. I watched the George Karl 01 team with Big Dog and Sam Cassell. And so for me, those are like my early Milwaukee basketball memories, where it was like, the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they're my squad. But obviously, when you have the experience you did in New York, for me, it was like, that's where I played my best. I was able to prove myself. You were just on the phone with Grayson.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, Grayson, congrats on the contract.
Yeah.
He said, you said it's not about the money. It's about, you got to prove who you are. You got to respect that money's not for what you're about to do. It's for what you've done. Like, for me, that was what New York was. It was like, I knew I could play. I knew I could make shots. I knew I was a valuable piece. And Mike D'Antoni was like, we shoot it. We play with pace. We got to have spacing. Yes. And if you didn't make shots, he was like, we're going to lose. And if we make them, we're going to win. And he was like, what you do matters. So for me, New York is a special place for so many reasons, playing at the Garden. But because I felt like be who I always knew I was. So, you're grateful.
You know what's my best memory? Just watching you play. And I haven't seen watch a lot of games, but just your highlights and watch you score a 3 and they do this and they score a 3. But how did this come out? Like, what was the
belt?
Yeah.
Man, it was. So I never expected to. Like, when you would see guys do celebrations after they shot, I was like, come on, like, that's kind of, I don't know about.
Yeah.
But you also know, as a guy who's been on multiple teams, when you play a team that you've been on, you always got a little something extra. Like, you want to prove them wrong. Like, you shouldn't have cut me. You shouldn't have waved me. You shouldn't have traded me. You disrespected me. You didn't think I was good enough, whatever. Yeah. It was a Sunday afternoon game. I'll back up a little bit. So our security guard with the Knicks, he was always saying, like, he knew I was a Packer fan. Yeah. He was always like, Aaron Rodgers is out here throwing, slanging touchdowns, and he's doing the belt. Yeah. He was like, when you shoot threes and make big ones, you should do the belt. I was like, come on, man, stop it. Like, I'm low key. I don't.
Yes.
And then I don't know what happened. Sunday afternoon, we're playing the Dallas Mavericks. The year before, Dallas had released me.
Yes.
So I was kind of in my feelings a little bit, and you're like, I'm gonna show them, I'm gonna make shots, and it wasn't even on bad terms. But you just got that ego.
Yeah, of course. You're motivated. You got the extra energy in your body, like your battery pack. You got like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and I was feeling good. And I made a couple shots, and then it comes second half, and it was like Jason Terry was guarding me, and he wasn't close enough, and I let it fly. And then Jay Kidd was guarding me, and he wasn't close enough, and I let it fly. And then I remember I made one on like the left side of the court, and I just remember thinking, uh-oh, I think I got to do the belt. I'm kind of feeling myself right now. And I just heard the conversations like, you should do the belt if you hit a big three. And I said, uh-oh, and it just came out. I said, I don't know what just happened. And the belt was born, and then it was, you know, everybody loved it. So I was like, I guess I'm just going to keep.
Now, it's signature. Everybody, it's I don't know, it's just part of the culture. If people just love it, then you just do it. Then it just becomes a thing.
I felt like it wasn't my belt. Like, I did it because I was a Packer fan, a Rodgers fan, but then it was like, I did it and was like, uh-oh, I don't know what I did. But then it was like, we loved it. You got to keep doing it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you own it now in the NBA. It's yours in the NBA. You own it. So, man, okay, do you think, give me an example, right? Because we talk about shooting and stuff like that. Who did you look up to? Like, did you always say, like, I want to be a shooter? I'm going to be a shooter, and I'm going to knock down threes and twos, and just like, or you was like, sure, were you the guy like, I don't like physical contact. I don't want to go into the paint. Like, what was your game? Because people are different. I've asked different shooters that said like different things.
For me, it was like I can't even explain it. Like, so I grew up with my pops in the gym at Brown Deer High School, and he would have practice on one end of the court, and I would be on the other end of the court with my ball, probably shooting the men's ball, and I was probably 6, 7, 8 years old, and I just wanted to have the ball in my hands and shoot. And I just think back to like that time where it's like, man, I didn't want to do the Mikan drill. I didn't want to do post moves. Like, I was down there shooting it from as far away as I could, making 1 out of 30, going like, let's go. Like, I'm the guy, I'm having fun. And so I think, like, to me, that was where it was born. And I just became obsessed with shooting. I think it was something really therapeutic for me, where like when I would shoot, I feel like, you know, when you cut the lawn, how you get done, and you're like, I never really thought I would be a guy who, like, I love to mow the lawn. Yeah. But when you get done, it looks so good. You feel like you did something, and you get to go do it again in like a week, and you feel so good again. That's what shooting was for me. I felt like you got to make or miss every one, and every time it went in, it felt good. And after you were done working out, you feel like you accomplished something. And then you got to come back again and do it the next day. And it was something weird where you're like, I don't know why it's so satisfying, but I just love shooting. And so I was always tall. My pops never was like, get your back to the basket. You got to post up. Yeah. So I was thankful. He always let me shoot it. And like, I knew at that time, big fellas were supposed to be bigs. You're supposed to be posting up and get the rebound and keep the ball high.
And be physical and everything.
Man, it wasn't what called me. You know, and I credit my pops. He was like, you go ahead and you like shooting that thing, shoot it, and we'll figure it out from here. You know, and so I just kept, I take great pride in, like, when I look at the top 10 3-point percentage list, I take great pride in the fact that, like, I'm the tallest guy, top 10. Yeah. Because a lot of great shooters, you know, but like, as far as like the highest percentage, for me, I always think, I'm so glad my pops was like, you can be tall and shoot it, go ahead. Yeah. Because then the game adapted and the game changed and everything flipped. And it was like, everything flipped. And if I hadn't been shooting it, I couldn't have been a big. I'm still the same weight as I was when I played 215. Yeah. Oh, who was I going to guard in the post? You know,
it would be hard. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. It would be hard.
Yeah. I wasn't going to wrestle the big fellas, but now all the big fellas are shooting it too.
So I'm shooting too. Yeah, they're shooting too. So if you were born, let's say 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you'd probably be in the Steph Curry era, right? The shooting from deep, right? Or the Damian Lillard era. I'm like, oh no, I'm one dribble off half court,
right?
Gone, let it fly. But question is, like, what do you think about that? Do you think, because you know you have debates all the time, like, oh my God, Steph ruined basketball. I disagree, but whatever. Oh my God, Steph changed basketball. Yes, he did. Yeah, change basketball. Like, what's your, like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, to me, it's so interesting, because I think in the beginning people were saying like, oh look, everybody's shooting threes, and that was the case. And you saw teams that didn't have the personnel to actually shoot the threes, still shooting the threes. They were coming up, they were shooting quick ones. You were like, man, this isn't good basketball, and it's not sustainable. Yeah. And so I think not only did you see like the rules change within the game, whereas to me the biggest difference is when you look at the rules in the NBA specifically, you know, 15, 20 years ago, the court was this big because they allowed hand checking. They allowed a lot more physicality. The 3-point shot wasn't very valuable. So the game was played much closer to the hoop. And now you fast forward to 2023, 24, the court is this big. And so all of a sudden, I remember when I was with the Clippers, we started changing our coverages against the Golden State Warriors. And they said, no matter where on the court Steph gets a screen and roll, we want you to go over the top of the screen. And you were like, what do you mean, like at half court? If we get screened, you want us to go? Because, I used to go under. Like, I'll dare him to shoot it. We'll just see. But then Golden State started making so many shots, you went, man, if we go under and they're banging down all these shots, we got no chance. We can't even keep up.
Yes.
So we started going over the top of pick and rolls at half court and chasing Steph downhill and Clay downhill from half court. And you were like, this is crazy. But it was a moment for me where I was like, the court just doubled in size. And so to me, it's teams then defensively deciding, like, what are we going to give up? Because you can't have 5 guys guarding 5 other guys in a 50-foot by 40-foot span.
Yes.
So you got to give some up. If you go help D, someone's got to be open. So who are you leaving open? So I think like the scoring is up, not because guys don't guard, but because they're guarding twice as much space with the same amount of guys.
The same amount of guys.
And the skill level got so much higher.
So much higher. And the talent, when you have, how do you think scoring won't get up if you have guys who are twice the size of guys who used to shoot doing step backs? Like, bro, of course it's going to go up. Of course the scores are going to be incredible. And of course people are going to be more talented. It is what it is. The game changes. But, okay, so wait, give me your tired, like your current top 5 and give me your like all-time top 5. Yeah. So give me your current top 5 first.
Shooters. I mean, Steph is right there. He's on top.
Yeah.
I mean, all-time and current. Just for what you said, the way he changed the game, the way he turned the conversation from.
Yeah, I put those two out there, like the Dame and the Steph. I just put them in tandem, like those two guys.
Right.
Obviously, Steph just goes on Steph and Damian, like, well.
Yeah. And to me, the reason that he's up there is because the conversation went from you can't win shooting threes to he was winning shooting threes. And then the whole world said, all right, we subscribe to that.
We subscribe to that, yes.
And the analytics said, oh, and by the way, we can back that up.
Yes.
So to me, like, it's hands down. And it's crazy to think, like, to me, to be honest, the current number 2, in my opinion, and he's benefited from Steph, is Clay. I think, like, he's right there. The fact that he's a different player than Steph. He's not a point guard. He's not out there averaging 10 assists.
Klay Thompson, man.
But he is a catch-and-shoot king. You look at James Harden, the way he played, it was like he was 100 million dribbles. I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just saying Clay was the literal opposite. He was the catch-and-shoot version of Steph, and they played together. That's why they won the championships. Yeah. So he's right up there.
And it's crazy. James can shoot the ball, bro. He can shoot the ball like James Harden can shoot the ball like crazy. Too. Yeah. Especially with the step back. When he started doing the step back, it was like unguardable.
Yes.
And he almost still is, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Not gonna lie. You got to play him different now.
No,
but okay, so
those guys are up there.
So yeah, okay. So apart from let's take the Bucks out, right? So apart from the Bucks, it's Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. Give me other 3. Current.
Man, man.
Still playing.
Yeah, still playing. I mean, to me, like you got to take the Bucks out.
You like to watch, not the best, but you like to watch.
See, the guys that I really like to watch are the big fellas that can step out and shoot it, because I'm biased.
Yeah.
Because obviously, the guard's supposed to be spreading the court, supposed to be shooting it, but like, to me, to be honest, I don't think he's the greatest. But like our guy Brook Lopez, to your point, I'm saying, I'm putting the Bucks back in it. To see not only was he a guy who didn't shoot threes, who now does stroke it from 3, but not just from 3, where he shoots it from. And the fact that like the guy who's guarding him is the other team's 5-man. Yes. Like that changes everything. He's not even shooting the regular 3. He's shooting it from 5 to 7 feet further away. So to me, I love that, because to me, that's like the next level of evolution. To your point, he's over 7 foot and he's shooting it from deeper than 3. And you're like, now hold on. We were just talking about Steph. Yes. Who was like changing the game, whatever. And I'm like, no, this is
he changed the game. He changed the game. Bring you up there.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, it's like there's always the guys who can make the big shots, and then there's the guys who are the really, really high percentage shooters. I think like I like the guys who have changed the game, and also, I mean, you think about the big shots. When you see guys like Dame Lillard, I mean that. I don't know it's Bucks heavy, but like the fact that he can hit a fadeaway from 40 feet away on multiple occasions. I mean, like, I don't even care what his percentage is. He's got the gene. And so to me, like, those are the guys I like watching shoot that thing, because I'm looking going, what is it about how he shoots it? Because a lot of times I just think about like the simplicity of the motion and the way that the form is actually not that right sometimes. You look at some guys and you go like, that's not right. That's not good form. Yeah. How does he keep making it? But you realize like the simplicity of the motion, the confidence that a guy shoots it with, the psychology a guy has is more important than like, oh, my elbow was under, my body had the right angle. And Dame is that guy. Clay is that guy. Steph is that guy. Brooke is that guy. I mean, he's out there jacking a set shot from. So, I mean, to me, and then you start talking about the guys who aren't current.
Yeah, all time.
I think about, like for me, Ray Allen.
Yes.
I'm biased. I watched the Bucks growing up. He was a guy who was, shot a shot nothing like the one I shot. Yeah. He was a jump shooter, but he was shooting the three unapologetic, and he was doing it in stretches where you're like, man, I've never seen this. And Dirk the same, a 7-footer.
So, okay, Ray Allen, Dirk.
Man. And then I think back to just all the special playoff series with Reggie Miller. You know, you just think the way he moved, right? I mean, you just think about like the way Reggie.
By the way, he showed some love to the podcast on live TV. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Hey, we'll get you on the show. Let's get you on Thanalysis.
He should come on, man.
I got it.
The battles he went through, the physicality he played with, he shot it in the era where they were trying to kill him. They were trying to put a bow on his chin, like every time he came through the paint, and he was just talking trash, and he was doing it. So those are the guys that I think, like when I used to watch and dream, like, man, I want to be like that. Even like, and Rip Hamilton wasn't even like a three-point shooter, but he did shoot threes, but he was a shooter. The movement on some of those guys is what I look at and go like, man, they work to get open. It's harder than people think. They're running 7 miles a game. They got to make it when they catch it. It's on the move. So it's just like it's such a craft. And I think there's some guys, in my opinion, who are there to shoot, and some guys like Steph Curry who have so much more to do. Like they're running point. They got to assist. They got to establish the offense. They got to play big minutes. They got to make big shots early and late. Other guys are just shooting it, and some guys are like that superstar, all-star level that I think people don't realize. He's not just shooting. That's what makes Steph at the whole conversation. You go like a winner, running a team. He's assisting. He's doing all those things, and I think you just start like every night. He's been doing that for that many years. So I think the game's in a great place. But to me, like the more interesting part now with where the game is at isn't how many threes does someone shoot or how many threes does a team shoot. It's the question, how do they get their threes?
Yes.
And it's the answer always, I find, tends to come back to they got a good post game. They got a great mid-range game. They got great shooters. They got playmakers. It's not they're great.
It's not just one thing.
It's never just one thing. And it's amazing to me to dig into like the analytics of why and how the great teams make threes. And I tend to think it's the counterpunch. It's because they're really good at other stuff. Golden State, if you look, you think, oh, 3-point shooting team. Look back. Who averaged the highest percentage of points from mid-range the years they won it? Golden State, right up top. Who had a really good post game, even though they ran it inverted? They were throwing in the post, and they were running split action and hitting one of the shooters. But the post game was a threat.
Yes.
So to me, that's the really interesting part is like, and how do you get the three? Not how many can you get up.
It's good quality threes. You don't want to just get out, jack up threes. You want to get good quality of threes. Plus, it's more other things as well, but we'll talk about that another time. But but the thing I want to ask you, okay, is like, what's for a kid out there, for a person out there, for a girl out there who wants to become a shooter, an elite shooter, what's your advice? Like, what's not only advice, but what's your like exercises in a short kind of, what do I have to do to become that?
In my opinion, there's two really important things, and they both come from putting the work in. Yes. To me, you have to spend the time shooting the shots because it's not just about shooting the reps that's going to make you great. To me, the only way you can, in the moment, in a game, in a big moment in a game, feel like you're supposed to be shooting a shot is if you've put the reps in and you put the work in. And regardless of how jacked up your form is or not, if you've put the work in and if you've shot enough reps that you feel like when you're on the court, it's your shot amongst your teammates and that you deserve the right to shoot it, it doesn't matter how your form looks, if you shoot it underhand or over. If you have that belief, in my opinion, that's the most valuable thing you can have as a shooter is the confidence, the arrogance almost, but I've earned the right to take this shot. And that may mean I earned the right to take these 12 shots in the game. And when you feel that way, I think there's no saying that you can't be a great shooter because you earn the right by putting in the reps. And I also think the other part about putting in the time and the reps is you have these aha moments if you put that much time in.
Yes.
I mean, if you shoot 2-3 hours a day, you have moments where you go, this doesn't feel right, or I can do this better. I can simplify that. It's easier if I turn my body like this, or if I flick my wrist like that, or if I extend my elbow, or if I keep my guide hand, or if I hold the ball like that, or if I look at that and not look at that. And if you spend the time, you find these aha moments that you only can know and believe in because you're the one that taught yourself those things. And I think that, to me, that's the most powerful part, is when you become your own best teacher, and when you put the time in, like, you can't be denied. And so to me,
you can't be denied. I like that.
You know, like you can shoot the ball this way, and I'll show you it works because it's how I shot it, but your shot won't be like mine. You have to have your own shot, because if you think you're shooting my shot, you're gonna always have to ask me, what do you think? How do I got to do? But if you're shooting your shot, and someone tells you it's jacked up, at least it's your shot. And you can own it, and you can work on it, and you'll always believe in it.
Polish it and walk through it. Yeah, you know, I like that. I like that. It's okay. Give me your top 5 favorite teammates you play with.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Because teammates to me is always different than like, top shooter, top.
No,
center.
you're like just teammates. Man.
Yes.
Your top 5 favorite teammates you play with.
So it's a great question, because I think it's interesting when you think about why people answer the way they do.
Yeah.
I was a guy that was not that great if I didn't have guys who were like willing to create for me and give me the ball, because I didn't create my own shot. 95% of my made field goals in my career, 95, were assisted. That means
because you shoot threes and you gotta
So to me, my mind always goes to guys who were so unselfish, that were such good playmakers, that were willing passers. All right, I'm gonna be honest. In college, my teammate Travis Diener. So he was my point guard at Marquette. He was coming off. He could shoot it. He could make so many things happen. But he always was finding me like on time, on target, and allowed me to make shots.
Yes.
Without him in college, if I got a point guard that's not looking, like, Novak's not that good. And then I get to the NBA, and I think like playing with a guy in J.J. Barea when I was in Dallas, and I'm trying to make the team in Dallas on a camp contract. We're in the preseason. We're playing the Detroit Pistons. He is dropping dimes to me in a preseason game where I'm trying to make the team over and over. Playmaking, finding me right on time, looking for me every time. I think to myself, like, man, he shaped like who I became.
Yeah.
He allowed me the opportunity. I played with Jeremy Lin in
Insanity.
New York. Man, as much magic as he had going by himself.
Magic, man.
He
the time was there. Woo.
Yes, but he was throwing it up to Tyson Chandler. He was finding J.R. Smith. He was hitting me.
Another really like product, like hard work and just perseverance, you know.
Yes.
So,
he was special, man. If people didn't, I'll be honest, I was working out with him the whole year before he got his chance. I didn't see it like, you're going to be this special superstar. Yeah. But to your point, he was working every day, and you knew he fit in, and you knew he belonged, and like the magic that he was able to create in a moment because he was ready for his opportunity. Like he was ready. That was what that was. People always say, like, be ready for your opportunity. It'll come. I don't know when, but it will. If he wasn't ready against Darren Williams against the Brooklyn Nets, maybe that was New Jersey Nets then. Yeah. If he wasn't ready that time when we had an injury and he was getting cut the next day, Jeremy, there's no Lin Sanity story. There's no story.
But he was ready.
He was ready. And he signed tens of millions of dollars of contracts, and he's in his 14th year right now playing in China. I'm like, man, he is an
amazing career.
Amazing story.
Amazing career. I was thinking about that. Okay, so that's 3, right?
Yeah.
James Dean, Insanity,
I'm going to tell you, I might need a few. I might need more than 2 other spots. Ricky Davis was one of my favorite teammates too.
Why?
Because he was always talking. He was always unselfish. He never got enough credit. He always seemed like he was a wild, like, I'm looking for my own shot. I'm doing my own thing. He was always willing to make the next pass. Always. J.R. Smith, same way.
J.R.
He would put that thing on a rope, and he would get it to you right in the right spot.
I love J.R. Smith. I love him. Not just only for basketball. And I was in New York, and I get to see him and his brother. Not like that, but I'm just saying, like, just his, like, for how he is as a person, taking care of people around him and stuff like that. Like, I love his, like,
people always say he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. What did he ever do?
I don't know why.
Man, he's a great guy.
You've never met him. You've never met him, probably.
He untied somebody's shoe.
I don't know, bro.
I agree,
am
man.
telling you, like,
that's my guy.
it's crazy. People just create, and if you're, and nowadays if you don't have a podcast for people to kind of see who you are, they might just run with it. No, seriously, though, they might just run with it. Nowadays, that's the idea of it, the social world and the world how it works now.
Hold on, I got a couple more.
Yeah, who?
I got to give a little.
Forget
shout
about
out.
top 5. Just keep going.
Keep going. My man Rasheed Wallace. Not because he was dropping dimes to me or he was getting me the ball, because that's who I had to beat in order to be successful. But Rasheed, again, he was like such a vocal teammate.
Yeah.
He was a truth teller. Man, if something was going on, he was going to say, hey, what was that? We need to do better than that. Like, what is going on here? Like, this, you're lying to yourselves. He was talking to the other team. He was talking to the referees. He was talking to our coach. He was talking to our training staff. He was sending Happy Father's Day videos. Like he was just that teammate where you were like, man, if Rasheed loves me, man, I feel cool.
Yeah.
So he brought you together and kept it real. Like there was it was accountability because you had Rasheed.
You have to. You got it. You have to.
In the locker room, And then I think I got to give shouts out to my guys, D Wade and Tracy McGrady, two of the probably more underrated passers.
Yeah.
Just because they had unbelievable vision and they could see over the top. And those guys playing with them, it was like, man, you didn't know if you were going to get it, but you knew if they wanted you to have it,
you're going to get it.
They would get it to you.
You're going to get it to you.
Just like T-Mac running a little chin action, high screen and roll, just casual on a rope. So I was grateful to play with some of those guys where you're like, man, people don't even know how skilled they are at stuff that's not even their alpha skill.
I say this all the time. I don't think people just see that, whatever they see on the court, and they don't really know what the NBA players are capable of till they see them in a sitting with players who are non-NBA players, and they go like, "What? Well, how is this guy doing this?" Of course, because it's part of the game. It's part of basketball, And the same thing with basketball players in general. Like you see basketball player playing overseas, and then you be like, "Oh yeah, okay." Yeah, I mean, you're just playing overseas, and then you see him in a setting of just normal people play, and it's like day and night. You're like, "What?" Or go to a YMCA or doing the summer runs and stuff, and he would look incredible because we do this for a living.
It's that level. Do you remember when Brian Scalabrine, Boston great for a long time?
Yeah.
Great might be an exaggeration, but that's my guy. And
No, he's great.
He's great. Okay, we'll give him great.
No, I'll say great because people remember Brian Scalabrine.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I don't care. You can say whatever you want to say. If you can name me other players from their roster in the past 40 years, name them.
We're still talking about him. You're right.
Exactly. No, we're still talking about him. No, he built it. Great player. He built his brand off the court.
Yeah.
He basically said, this is what you guys are going to do? Okay. And took it off the court. Great. First of all, this is what people don't understand. Players who only play basketball, they don't only play basketball because, they're good, we dribble good or we shoot good. We are knowledgeable when it comes to basketball. We watch film. We understand how the game is played. That's why he became a great analyst. That's why he became
right.
All these things, and wrong with it. Now, if you can say the same for other guys who've been in the roster for the past 40 years, I don't think you can.
No,
I don't think you can.
No, you're right. You remember what he said? I was going to say, you remember a great quote he had? He did that little one-on-one thing. He said, calling all hoopers, y'all think you're nice, to your point, and you think, and he called everybody. I think it was in the Boston area. Let's go. We'll play one-on-one. I forget how the game was, 2-11 or something. And after he won,
he probably killed them.
He killed everybody.
Of course he did.
I'm saying, and it was an open. Anybody could come. And at the end, he said, "Never forget." He said, and I can't remember if he compared it to Kobe or LeBron. He said, "I'm closer to Kobe than you are to me. Don't ever forget that." Because people were saying, "Oh, you're not a real hooper. Oh, you can't do this. You can't." He said, "No, let's just get one thing straight. I'm closer to."
And
Kobe.
this is the pre-era before social media. Now it's amplified. Now you could just sit in the bed. You're like, "Why are you sitting like this?" What?
I'm sorry, what?
Exactly.
Coming at me for that?
It is what it is. But I'm saying that's
it was cold-blooded, but I love that.
That's real though.
He put himself out there and said, "Hey, hold on now. Let's find. Maybe you're right. Let's play one-on-one. You say I'm not a great defender. I'll have to guard one-on-one. You say I can't score. I'm the only one shooting." And I think he beat the champ by a ton and said, "I'm closer to Kobe than you are to me, man." And I said, "It's just wild. When you realize, to your point." There's 4,500 people in the history of the world that have played in the NBA.
45. I don't think people understand that.
And I said, no, I got to re-Google that real quick. That doesn't look right. We were in Oklahoma City. when we were with the team the other day, and the equipment manager pulled me aside after the game, and he said, "Hey, I want to show you the wall that Sam Presti put up. He put up a little square, a plaque with every player's name, number, and their autograph that's played for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they're one of the younger teams, obviously." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, cool, let me see." And we walked back, and he showed me. I said, "Is it not complete, or you guys still putting names up or whatever?" He said, "No, this is everybody that's played for." I said, "This is everyone that's played for the Oklahoma City Thunder in 16 years?" He was like, "And this includes every guy who's ever had a 10-day. And it was a wall about 15 feet wide by about 4 or 5 feet.
People who've played just one day.
Yes.
Were included.
Anybody who ever signed a OKC contract. My mind was blown. And I looked it up, and it was like 4,500 guys that played in the league. So to your point, it's like there's a lot of guys that are close, but there's nobody who's at the league level that's just slipped through the crack, or they were just born that way, or they were. I think it's amazing, to your point, to experience that and know that real time. Be like, I understand if you don't understand, but I'm just here to tell you, like, nobody got here just by accident.
No, nobody. But then to your point, okay, so now, apart from basketball, what's your hobbies, man? Do you have any hobbies? Who's Steve Novak outside of basketball, man?
Man, I love my kids. I chase my kids around. I coach my 13-year-old in hoops. I got a 10-year-old daughter now she's riding horses. I don't really know. It's like a Benz payment every month. I'm not sure how that happened, but we're doing that. And then my little man, he's got a mullet. I don't know how that happened. He's my third child. So we just let him kind of do whatever he wants. And, he had 16 stitches earlier in the year. So it's been a good time with them. And they're just big basketball fans, man. I enjoy hanging with them. I love playing a little bit of golf.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm still a basketball junkie, man. I do broadcasts with the team, with the Milwaukee Bucks, and
Did you take classes, by the way, for broadcast? I don't want to interrupt you, but did you take classes? How do you? Okay, you just naturally gifted doing broadcasting.
No, people ask me all the time. So at Marquette University, my major was communications.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that counts. It's not broadcast, but I always tell people, "Oh yeah, I went to school for this." But like, in order to talk basketball, there's not a class or enough classes that you can take. Having been on 9 teams in 11 years, and having had 20 coaches and moved 17 times, and having those experiences where you run Jeff Van Gundy's offense, and then you run Rick Adelman's offense, and then you're with Pop, and you're with D'Antoni, and then you're with Jay Kidd. You go like, that was my education. Like,
almost definitely.
I took that stuff away from my experiences, where that was what I think allowed me to have the opportunity to do broadcast. Was the insights that you can only get seeing it firsthand. And so I didn't really take classes. I just retired at the right time, and Johnny McLaughlin said, "Hey, I've done enough." 42 years in, he said, "Someone else has got to do this." So I guess timing has a lot to do with it too.
Timing has a lot to do with it. But okay, now you said something about Marquette before too, and now, what do you rock? Where do you and Doc Rivers rank in the Marquette all-timers?
Well, Doc's got a banner. He's got the banner up. He's got the jersey retired. I don't know if they're just waiting to put mine up, or it's not going to happen, but. Doc is up there. When you look back at his career, he's considered probably like one of the greatest freshman years that a Marquette player's ever had, and he's a legend. He's up there with D Wade. When you think about like the modern era of who are the greats.
Yes.
You think about like the Jimmy Butlers, the Jay Crowders, the Wes Matthews. Like Doc is in. Yes. He's in that conversation. I'm whatever's right below that. I like to take credit and be with those guys. But I had a great career at Marquette and was able to go on and play a long time.
Yes.
But, Doc Rivers is definitely, he's the one. He's representing being back here coaching in Milwaukee and doing it. It's cool to see full circle like that, coaching the Bucks at Fiserv Forum in the building where Marquette plays with his jersey up. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, and it's I don't know. It's a book. It's a movie. It's a story.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Okay. I'll say this. Okay, this is obviously, I've been doing this thing that I ask my guests, like, about the American culture and like, what do I have to learn, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. If I had to learn American culture, like, and if I had to watch, like, let's say, give me like your top 3 movies that I would have to watch to understand the American culture.
Yeah, I got good ones for you. Let me think. I'm just gonna pick my favorite movie.
And everybody has a different answer
Yeah,
too. Like I've heard
how they approach it, right?
Yeah,
They go real like, here's a historical documentary. You go out here.
Yeah, good documentary. Look at movies,
Yeah.
culture movies, classics.
Yeah. All right. So especially relating to us,
Yeah.
first you got to watch Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.
You got to watch Hoosiers in Indiana. The greatest basketball movie of all time. I think then you can understand.
Damn, I thought Coach Carter was the best basketball movie.
Then you can watch that too. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No,
Hoosiers? Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Hoosiers.
Well, my man Gene Hackman, and I think you gotta watch Hoosiers to start out. And I'm gonna stay on the sports theme. I'm not sure how this relates, but then you gotta watch Happy Gilmore.
Oh, that's.
I'm just saying, you talk about American culture.
Okay, good. Okay, I'll watch him.
Anybody can be great. How about that? We'll go with that. Anybody can be great, no matter how ridiculous you are.
Yeah.
Our guy Adam Sandler. That's a great movie, man. You can watch it over and over.
He did have a basketball movie. Shout out to Thanalysis and my guy Hernán Gomez, Juancho. He did have a movie with Bo Cruz, Hustle, Netflix.
Yeah.
Right? You know what's so crazy? I haven't watched it yet. Everybody was like, "Oh, what you gotta watch?" I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch that too. But you said Happy Gilmore,
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
and you said the Hoosiers. What else?
I can't go too like R-rated.
No, you can go. It's my podcast. I can say anything. If you say anything,
Good question. I'm trying to think how I can bring it full circle.
we can go on anything. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know.
The third one. I got to think. You know what? What movie I love to keep it basketball related in high school? And my closest friend, my homeboy, he would be like, we'd be having sleepovers. He'd be like, let's watch Love and Basketball again. I'm like, we're not watching Love and Basketball again. And he was convinced. He was like, this is my life. Like, I'm going to find a hooper that's a chick where I'm going to fall in love. He actually did. Shout out to my guy, Ben Hebel. He's got a beautiful wife, Mo, now. And he met her hooping. But I swear, he was always like, this is going to be my life, Love and Basketball. I'm like, Ben,
Love and Basketball.
we're not watching Love and Basketball again. I'm like, let's just play ping pong and go to bed, man.
Yeah.
Like, no, let's watch it again. So, hey, those are my 3 picks, and I have no idea.
I like him. I'm gonna watch them.
Yeah. It's a solid list, solid hooping list.
It is a solid list. It actually made me remind me of a couple of other stuff I wanted to do and learn. But okay, so now I always got a segment that I do like animal facts, right? Uh-oh. It's not right or wrong. It's just true or false, right? I don't. Okay. So let's go to the first one, right? True or false? An octopus has like 9 brains.
Oh, that's definitely true.
It's true. Why do you say that?
If he has that many tentacles, I feel like you're trying to trick me. So it's got to be true. He's got 9 brains for sure.
So yeah, it is true. It is true. You got that. You got that right.
Yeah.
He actually has a main brain, like a main one, and then he has one for each tentacle.
Yeah.
1 brain for each tentacle. So, like, it has like 9 basically.
I mean, we probably.
So you was there. Do you know the fact, or you just?
No, I really didn't.
Oh, okay. You just thought about it. Okay.
But that was way too tricky. I'm like, there's no way he's just made up the number 9.
Yeah.
That's got to be a real thing.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go another one. Is it true or false that an elephant tooth weighs 5 pounds?
No, I don't think elephant even have teeth. I just got a trunk. I got a trunk and then, no, 5 pounds, that's ridiculous. No way.
It's false?
Totally false.
But why you said false?
Because I don't even think they have teeth.
It is false, but
they have tusks.
Yeah, it is false, but they do have teeth, and they actually weigh 12 pounds.
12 pounds is one tooth?
Yes.
I might need to fact check.
But it's okay. But you won it because you said false. So win is a win. Win is a win.
All
so
right.
let's keep it going.
I'll take your word for it.
If you win is a win. I'm telling you. They can fast check online internet. Comment fast. Let's fast check this. True or false? That flamingos have to eat with their heads upside down.
I think that's true, and I think they're pink because of the shrimp that they eat. Is that true? I made that up. I got kids. I think I know stuff like this. I think they do.
It has to be. It is true.
Yes.
But
and their color comes from the shrimp that they eat.
Really? I didn't know that.
No.
Oh my God.
Again,
we got to bring it back
help
to the show.
us fact check that.
That's true. It is true.
All right, we have confirmation.
Yes.
I like that.
It is true. Oh, I'm killing it. This year the most back to back. I've had this like twice. It's been like crazy. Tony, we got to do a better job, bro. We gotta switch it up from true and false to fun facts. Like we got to do that and see if they knew about it. We got to switch it up because I keep losing every time we play. So
12
okay.
pounds? An elephant
pounds,
tooth is 12. That's pretty wild.
12 pounds. Do you like zoos? Have you been to a zoo?
I've been to all the zoos. I got traded 5 times. My kids love the zoos. We've been to all of them.
All of them, man.
All of them.
We're like traded 5 times. What was the first time you got traded?
I got traded from Houston. I played for Houston. I got drafted there, played there 2 years, and I got traded to the Los Angeles Clippers.
Ooh, how'd you feel the first trade?
I was sort of like devastated because I feel like
devastated.
Well, because I think
I'm
people go like, oh, it's a business. You're going to get traded.
No, guys. Yes. You learn it's a business.
You learn it's a business.
You don't know when you first come in, even if they keep telling you.
Yeah, and you learn what that means. You learn what it means. It's a business, and you also realize like, okay, I understand, I accept that, but then people go like, but you shouldn't have been all devastated. Like you knew you could get traded. Okay, I have a question for you then. Do you mean I shouldn't have had real relationships and I shouldn't have cared about the city I was living in and I shouldn't have vested and acted like I was going to be here? You're like, no, because it's both. It's not one or the other. It was both. Oh. It's a business, and I cared about the people in the place I was in. So you're like, and so it's difficult, and I knew it was a business. So it was hard, but.
Did they tell you? How'd you find out?
That one was my agent calling me, saying, and that was sort of like, that was 2008. So it was before, it was like everybody's on Twitter finding out first before all the stuff breaks. Yeah. So he called me and kind of told me that was what the deal was. But then other times when I got traded, like when I was in Utah, we had All-Star break. We came back. We had our first practice after All-Star break, right at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And they texted everybody, hey, hold on, we're going to bump practice back a couple hours.
Oh,
and you were like,
you know what that means.
Uh-oh, something's cooking. We had practice. You're like, Enes Kanter was sitting out. He wasn't even in practice. You're like, so that's what they're cooking. All right, we got done with practice. We get finished. I go out in the players' parking lot. I won't name any names, but the assistant GM is out there. I said, he was just casually, I said, hey, am I getting traded? They said, no, you good. He said, I would tell, if there was some stern, I would kind of, but I said, all right, cool. I went home. And I started playing with the kids. I was doing Legos on the floor. And my boy texted me, hey, congrats on the new team. I said, uh-oh. So I put my name in Twitter, and it was a 3-team trade, and I couldn't figure out which team I was going to. I was like, I'm going to the Jazz, I'm going to the Thunder, I'm going to the Pistons. Where am I going? So then you just wait for time. You keep refreshing, trying to figure out what's happening. And then it was just crazy because at that point, once it was like, everybody knew before your agent or the team could call you because they got to put it through the NBA and they got to make sure everything is like okay to put out. So you find out in advance. When I got traded from the Knicks to the Toronto Raptors, it was in the summer. I played 2 years with the Knicks. I'm like, man, I found a home. I'm staying here. I was in Milwaukee taking a nice nap in the summer. I woke up, my phone was like, bzz, bzz, bzz. I had 100. My wifey woke me up. She said, I said, I honest to God, didn't say anything to her. I said, I'm going to go for a run. I went for a run and just kind of had a moment to myself where I was just kind of like thinking about that was fun in New York. I came back. She was on the porch crying with her phone. It's the GM here. I said, they said, oh, yeah, we traded you for Andrea Bargnani and blah, 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 blah. I said,
yeah.
And it was like, all right, off we go. Like you just switch it up. So the in-season trades were brutal because you just pack OKC was like, Utah was like, the plane's coming, it'll take you to OKC at 7:30 in the morning, you and Ennis. But in the summer, at least you had a little time to go get some things done. But that's
you got time to adjust and get your house and this and that and get situated. But in season is like hotel.
Yeah.
Or like whatever. Hotel for
45 days. You can have 45 days, right?
45 to like 2 months. If you go towards the playoffs, you're like,
right.
I'm not gonna get a place. I'll do 2 months.
Yeah.
And depending on what kind of contract you have, if you got a contract for 3 years, you're gonna file a house. If you don't, why get out? Duke it out.
Rent at best.
Yeah, just duke it out. NBA bid to like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a brutal part of the business as well.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. First of all, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Like you've been amazing. You've dissected shooting for us. You've done all these things and not only shooting, but the way NBA works and your journey and everything. But before we leave, I want to, before we, finish the podcast, I want to leave the audience and the people who are listening with, what is something that motivates you? What is something that keeps you disciplined? What's something that you say, like, it could be a quote or a story or something like that? And that's one part of it. And the second thing I want to leave with them is that, what is something crazy? What's been the most crazy year for you? I mean, obviously, I know the trades after that. And it could be either locker room stuff or what is something that you didn't know what's going on, but then you had to like recenter yourself and keep it going. And moving.
Yeah, I think those are great questions. I think like for me, to be honest, I think like the early in my life, like there was a quote that I lived by, that it was actually sent to me by one of the colleges that recruited me. And I remember they would send you all these letters, and it was like, you get all these quotes and all these letters and they're motivational things and stuff like that. And I just always remembered like putting a little quote up on my like bedside table that was basically just, it was simple, but it did something to me. That was, dreams don't work unless you do. And it seems like, okay, that's not that deep. But to me, it was just like an everyday reminder that like, if you have dreams, like don't ever lie to yourself on a daily basis that if you aren't working towards them,
that they're going to come,
that they're going to happen. And so it was just like it was just a real simple reminder, like dreams don't come true unless you're working towards them. And so like I just left that sit on the bedside table, and I felt like every day it was just a reminder, like don't you sore, or you're tired, or you're whatever. And I think stuff like that, that's just an easy daily reminder to make you realize, like, do you really want to accomplish that? Like, is that your dream?
Do you really want it? Yeah.
Yeah. Dreams don't work unless you do. And it was like, that just meant to me, wake up. All right, when are you working today? And so, and then for me, like one experience that happened in my career that was like in a very short period of time, empowering but scary, was I was in the G League. Was it the D League at the time?
D League at the time, yeah.
It would have been the D League at the time, because I got released from the Dallas Mavericks. I was off for a month. Nobody signed me, and I'm thinking, I'm in my 5th season, thinking I can't believe nobody's signing me. No one thinks I'm good enough, or no one has a roster spot for me. I go play with the Reno Bighorns for 2 games. Squad was unbelievable. I had Jay Lynn, Danny Green, Patrick O'Brien. I was like, man, we were about to ball out. Played 2 games, played well. San Antonio called me up, said, all right, we're going to sign you, whatever. I was with the team for the rest of the season. That following year was my best year. And so for me, in a very short span, I went from being cut, not being signed by anybody and everyone had time and opportunity, to playing in the G League, to signing a 4-year contract at the end of my next year with the New York Knicks. It just made me realize, like, you can be told by the experts within a very short period of time that you're not good enough, and then within a year, there be like a bidding war and be millions of dollars for you, all within like a year's span of time, And so it just, to me,
in less than 12 months, basically. That's crazy.
Yes, it was, and it was cool to also see. I mentioned like Jeremy Lin was on the team with the Reno Bighorns when I was 2, and he was on that New York Knicks team with me that year. And so we both kind of would remind each other, like, you remember just a few months ago, we were in the G League, D League. Nobody wanted us. And Jeremy he did Linsanity a few months after being told, like, we don't even know if you got a spot in the league. So that was something we kind of always, we cherished. And I just think it's a great message, too, for
great message,
anybody, but for kids who are working or being told, like, you aren't fast enough, you aren't smart enough, you ain't. You're like, well, even at the highest levels, like, they're telling them, like, they're not good enough. And then a few months later, like, just staying with it, believing, like, no, I think they're wrong. It was like, man, we were this close. We just had to just stay with it,
right.
So for me, that was like it was a powerful window in time for me.
Man, thank you so much for sharing. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but that's a great way to finish a podcast, huh?
My man.
Man, please, first of all, before we even start finishing, I want you, guys, please follow my guy Steve, all his socials. I don't know, what's Steve?
I don't even know. We'll put it right at the bottom, right
We'll
here.
Put it right at the bottom. Yeah, right at the bottom.
All right.
Follow him on socials. Follow him everything. Go crazy when this episode comes out. Spam his comments, kind of like everything. Thanks so much, Steve, for coming in. Thank you for supporting the team, supporting your home, Milwaukee. You always love, always encouraging, even in the trips, the plane. It's always great to see you, brother. And I've been trying to get you on the show for a year and a half, 2 years now. I've been trying to kind of, but you're part of a great roster. Season 2 has been a great roster, Season 2, so.
That's right.
Yes.
I appreciate it. I also want to say I appreciate the positive energy that you've always brought. I mean, this too, but I just mean like to the city of Milwaukee.
Thank you, brother.
Who you and your family are. I think it's just not enough can be said about the impact that you guys have had. And you can feel your energy on the bench, sitting here today. It's like there's perspectives in life, and I can tell like the Antetokounmpos, they got a certain perspective. No, I mean that.
We try. But
a lot of people, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. Oh man, please, guys, follow on if you want to subscribe to the visuals, to the videos on YouTube, Thanalysis show. Subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends. Hit the notification button on the socials, Instagram, Thanalysis show, TikTok, Twitter. Like, share, comment. Let me know who you want to see next, man. Thanalysis out. Thanalysis is recorded at No Studios, Milwaukee's creative hub and production studio.